Hi, my name is ColdBeer and this is my experience in Dead Island 2. Well, the name of the game is really deceiving because this time it's not an island anymore, but Los Angeles. You are stuck in a strictly quarantined area infested by hordes of zombies, and that is the only thing that metaphorically reminds of an island. I never played the first part of the game, but I watched some episodes being played by Jesse Cox some 11 years ago, so I had an idea what this game is all about. And 11 years ago I was an absolute pussy. I would never have dared to play a game like that. All those zombies, the menacing atmosphere and the sense of fear lingering in there was too big for my mental balls to accommodate. Now I can, but not because I'm like brave and ballsy, but by getting older I realized that real life is way scarier than games can be. So that being said, I can't really say that Dead Island 2 is a horror game. It is not. Although it has some jump scares and I will show a few of them to you later, in general the whole vibe of the game is not horror-ish at all. While it always keeps you on your tiptoes, but not in a scary way. You just have to be aware of your surroundings all the time because zombies can appear from anywhere, or more like out of nowhere in some cases. You know, if you just cleared some areas in other games you might feel safe and lose your guard, but not here. In Dead Island 2, zombies are squeezing through the debris, windows, manholes, fall from gaps in the ceiling and so on. So 1 second you are all alone, enjoying life, and another you are like... yeah, like that. Anyway, when the game started, my wife was standing behind me and watching a bit of my gameplay, and she said that the vibe of the game reminds her of Saints Row. Yeah, I think you can draw some distant parallels. Dead Island 2 is not a very serious game. It's not an absurd either like Saints Row, but it's very satirical and dark humor heavy. And most of the jokes are good. I never felt any real cringiness at all. For example, in one house I found a bunch of YouTube studios. Well, they can't use YouTube's name and logo, so they call the platform differently. Anyway, in one of the rooms I found this script which says,
"Apology script. I am alone in my house. It's 1 AM and I just wanted to say sorry to all my fans that I've disappointed, but most importantly my sponsors. I'll do better next time. Cry here for sympathy. This isn't scripted, this is from the heart."
And yeah, this is funny. Also, seriously, it was the first time in my life I could actually walk around various YouTube studios and see the equipment and decorations from behind the scenes. Well, in real life I worked in television as a screenplay writer for a few years, but the TV studio scale is usually way bigger and it's really fascinating to see all that squeezed into several square meters. So to say short, the game is very detailed. I was walking around the studios in the abandoned house and actually took some ideas for myself that I may implement in the future. Of course, I am a YouTuber and this may be just profession-inspired interest, but that just shows the level of details and the immersiveness this game can provide. And here you can also actually walk around to rich people's houses. You start the game in Hollywood after all. You know, most of us think that it would be cool to be rich and have things like movie stars have, but in real life we can't even imagine how they really live. And Dead Island 2 actually provides some insight of how a house of a multimillionaire looks like from inside. For example, I live in the commie block built by Soviets. Everywhere I look I see rows and rows of buildings that were built some 40 years ago by the communists. The famous HBO's Chernobyl series were actually filmed in a block nearby, a few hundred meters from my house. For real, my surroundings in Vilnius, Lithuania were shown as Pripyat in Ukraine. They just had to Photoshop out a few Teslas, plastic windows and little grocery stores from the horizon. So you can imagine how walking inside Hollywood houses looks to me. I feel like I am in a movie myself. Well, a different movie than Chernobyl, that is. Most of us will never see these things. Nobody will invite us as guests into some rich people's party, but in Dead Island 2 all the rich people are zombies now. You come inside, make sure that they stay even more dead, and walk around admiring the view. So did I mention that this game is filled with zombies? I might have, yes. So the game uses some dark soulish mechanic where you have to make a perfect block or a dodge, and then the game lets you execute the zombie with a few simple clicks. I especially like this scene where I was walking through the empty corridor. Yeah, as you can see, this was supposed to be a scary moment where the zombie suddenly jumps in absolutely unexpectedly, but just one lucky dodge, that was definitely pure luck, made all his efforts meaningless. I'm really glad I caught it on camera. This execution method is very useful when you are attacked by a horde of zombies. You know, here it is possible to kinda spam the dodge button, and when many zombies are attacking you, some of these dodges are considered as perfect and the game lets you execute them one by one. Don't get me wrong, death here is not something you can avoid easily. In the first 2 hours, while I was still counting my deaths, I died 5 times. I especially like this one. I got this achievement just a few seconds ago. What an irony. So my rate was 1 death every 24 minutes. I think that's fair, although I'm not including my miserable performance with Becky the Bride. She was amazing at cracking my skull and ripping my arms off. Well, the game doesn't actually show you that, but you can imagine that your puny body after death is not just left to be in peace in this world, it is left in pieces instead. The most annoying thing was degrading weapons, and I know who I can blame for that. You see, I just recently played Dying Light 2, and in this game every sword, pipe or club breaks down after just a few swings while attacking zombies. You can kill only a handful of undead and then you have to change the weapon. And Dying Light 2 is made by a company named Techland, who's also made the original Dead Island game. You see where I'm going with this, right? So the second part of Dead Island is made by another not related company, but this absolutely dumb concept of rapidly degrading weapons was inherited by Dead Island 2 as well. And I don't get why. It's really one of the most irritating things. Luckily, you can repair your broken weapons when you find a workbench and you can use them again. The game is kinda linear, so they throw a workbench in your way at very convenient times. So I give them that. You can also upgrade your weapons with various powers or perks, like, you know, make them more durable. Despite that, from time to time your stainless steel swords will break and the game doesn't equip you with the next weapon automatically. Or maybe I failed to check on some bugs in the settings, so from time to time you just stand with your bare knuckles against 7 brain-thirsty zombies and think, uh-oh. Sometimes I panicked, pressed the wrong button and died. But this is my noobness, this is not the fault of the game. By the way, when you try to equip another weapon, time still runs, although much slower. That is really an anxiety-inducing experience. Also, the biggest moment of uh-oh was when I was walking around one house in the very beginning of the game and saw a samurai sword under the glass as an exhibit. I was thinking,
wow, I wish I had this sword instead of my lame weapon.
And I left the house. Suddenly I realized how stupid and IQ-deprived idiot person I am, and I returned to the house. Well, shit. Also pay attention to that zombie who appeared from behind out of thin air. Jeez, this game does that way too often, I swear. So I promise to show you several jump scares. They won't be scary to you because you know, but you can imagine how I felt. There's the first one.
Shit!
I almost peed myself, and then was this one sneaky bastard from behind that almost gave me a heart attack. That kick was just my hand clenching on the gamepad, a lucky accident. Also, good old Vance didn't disappoint as well. So those are just a few of them. As I've mentioned, the game is not very scary, but it compensates with jump scares. I don't know if I like that. Although in general this game is really fun and has only a few bad moments. I mean, just look at this water. What is wrong with it? My eyes hurt just by walking by. Also, you can't chop these with your sword. I say this is plain laziness of development. Someone's ass should be whooped for it. And the last thing that I found annoying, the game works flawlessly without any loading screens when you go inside the house, but you can't see yourself in a mirror, like at all. What am I? A vampire? Well, I might be. I still have a huge chunk of game to play, but honestly, I really doubt that I am a vampire. I foresee as whooping instead. And for the end, I want to show you the most ridiculous moment I had while playing. Basically, I picked up some battery and then I was unexpectedly attacked by a zombie. I panicked so hard that I forgot how to put it down and grab a weapon instead, so I tried to beat the zombie with a battery. I don't know what happened, but it seems like a battery was way more powerful than a katana and the zombie was dead in a few seconds. Anyway, I would give this game about 7 to 8 cold beers out of 10. It is fun but gets a bit repetitive. You know, zombies are kinda similar. The same battle mechanics and breaking weapons kinda wears you down, but I had a lot of fun as well and I will continue playing it. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day and I'll see you next time.
Brains.